We are marking 75 years since the adoption of the Universal Declaration of Human Rights. At its heart is a simple yet revolutionary idea. Human rights are universal. Or, as the drafters of the Declaration put it, human rights belong to all members of the human family. And these rights are indivisible, interdependent, and co-equal. These principles were not shaped by any one country, region, or ideology. They were discussed, debated, and meticulously drafted by experts from countries big and small, north and south, centuries old and newly independent. Holding ourselves to the same standards as we do every other government is particularly important at a time when human rights around the world are under assault, perhaps nowhere more than in Russia's brutal war on Ukraine. The Iranian regime is also once again cracking down on citizens demanding their human rights and fundamental freedoms. Since the killing of Mahsa Amini in September brought Iranians of all ages out into the streets, the regime has killed at least 500 people, imprisoned tens of thousands more, many of whom have been tortured, according to human rights groups. We condemn the Taliban's draconian repression of women and girls in Afghanistan, including barring them from universities and secondary schools. The Taliban's recent edict prohibiting Afghan women from working for NGOs has closed off yet another pathway that should be open to them. And in a country where 29 million people depend on humanitarian aid for survival, the Taliban's decision will significantly reduce the amount of food, medicine, and other life-saving assistance reaching vulnerable people, especially women and girls. We remain gravely concerned about the ongoing genocide and crimes against humanity that China is committing against Muslim Uyghurs and other members of minority groups in Xinjiang. Nearly a dozen years since launching its crackdown on Syrians demanding their human rights, the Assad regime continues to commit widespread abuses, which is why we urge Council members to renew the mandate of the country's Commission of Inquiry, even as we surge humanitarian assistance to help those in Syria and Turkey impacted by the devastating earthquake. In the 75 years since the Universal Declaration of Human Rights was adopted, there has rarely been a time when delivering on its commitments has been more urgent or more consequential to international peace and security, to development, to human dignity.